Brixton, Stockwell, Vauxhall, Pimlico, Victoria, Green Park, Oxford Circus, Wine Street, Euston, King's Cross and Pancras, Highbury and Islington, Finsbury Park, Seven Sisters, Tottenham Hale, Black Horse Road and Walthamstow Central altogether make 16 stops for the Victoria line. Every tube line for Transport for London has a colour for their representation, and the Victoria line has light blue and is one of the two lines for London Underground to completely operate services underground, the Waterloo and City line being the other. Construction began in the 60s to form this line to reduce congestion on the Piccadilly and the Charing Cross branch on the Northern line. The first section of the Victoria line opened in 1968 with trains running for the line going to Walthamstow Central and Highbury and Islington before its extension to Warren Street in December of 68, after the first section opened in September. Queen Elizabeth II opened the extension to Victoria Station in March 1969 and rode a train from Green Park to Victoria. 2 years later opened the extension to Brixton before Pimlico Station opened in 1972, a year later. The Victoria line had the 67 stock trains running before being replaced by the 09 stock using automatic train operation and also require train drivers. It is stated on Wikipedia 200 million passengers use the Victoria line each year and makes this line go in 6th place on the list of busiest tube lines. The line travels 21 kilometers in both directions, running with 630 volts DC on 4th rail tracks with 4 rails on it, and track gauge is 1,435 milliliters standard gauge. The speed these Victoria line train reaches is 80 kilometers per hour, that is 50 miles per hour. The 67 stock trains ran for the Victoria line from the 1st of September 1968 to June the 30th, 2011 for the 09 stock to get into place. These 1967 stock trains were manufactured by Metro Campbell and refurbished at Rosyth. Each train had 2 4-car units coupled together, and operators can begin automatic operation by starting trains pressing 2 buttons in the cabs. These trains were maintained at Northumberland Park Depot, also where you can see Victoria line trains out in the open. Being the first London Underground operated trains with wraparound windows, these trains also include face-to-face seats, lighting, bars, adverts, route maps, face-to-face couch seats. Basically, it's like being on the Bakerloo line, but that's working for the Victoria line. Being the first new deep level tube stock since the 66 stock began running for the Jubilee line in 67, a total of 47 8-car trains have been manufactured by Bombardier for the Victoria line entered service between July 2009 and June 2011, with the exterior looking like a mini S-stock train and the interior looking fresh but nowadays found to be almost clean, containing only face-to-face seats, no face-to-face couch seats, adverts on board, route maps, huge windows, bright lighting, 10 doors for passengers and coaches with 2 single doors, and front and back of trains for drivers hold only 2 single doors, 1 on each side, and other cars holding 4 single car doors and 4 double doors, making it 12 doors in total for passengers. The difference between the 67 and 09 stock trains is the display of announcements, reporting numbers and destinations. We all know the 67 stock had manual alternations to show its destination during service, but the 09 stock doesn't have the roll up and down blinds method buses have, but on electronic screens changed and controlled by drivers running the trains. The 09 stop changes the game, with speed becoming London's own bullet train. Crossroad has its own speed game, becoming London's Thunderground, but which train would win in a single race? The name Victoria Line dates from 1955 and given by David McKenna, chairman of British Transport Advertising, making it just right, the board thinks. Other suggestions were Warwick, Viking, Mayfair or the Western Line. The Warwick would be the Walthamstow to Victoria Line, and Viking being Victoria to King's Cross. Without David McKenna, what else would the line be called? The Victoria Line, with the addition of 16 stops, Walthamstow Central for London Overground services to Chingford and Liverpool Street, and services from Barking Riverside to Gospel Oak and back from Walthamstow Queens Road Station, Black Horse Road for the Overground to Barking Riverside and Gospel Oak, Tottenham Hale for National Rail services, including trains via Northumberland Park to Stansted Airport and Stratford, Seven Sisters for National Rail services and London Overground, Finsbury Park for National Rail services and the Piccadilly Line, Highbury and Islington for London Overground, including trains to Clapham Junction, Rousseau Quays to New Cross, King's Cross and Pancras for the Piccadilly, Northern, Metropolitan, Hammersmith and City and Circle Lines, and national and international rail services. Euston for Northern Line and National Rail services, 1 Street for the Northern Line to Charing Cross branch, Oxford Circus for the Bakerloo and Central lines, Green Park for the Jubilee and Piccadilly lines, Victoria for District and Circle lines, and National Rail services, Pimlico, Vauxhall for National Rail services, including trains to London Waterloo, Stockwell for the Northern Line, and Brixton for National Rail services. The Victoria Line runs for 24 hours between every Friday to Sunday mornings, began in August 2016 instead of planned to start operating from September 2015 due to strike action. Every Friday and Saturday night, 10 minutes is how long passengers wait for their train.